So those of us who grew up with Ronald Reagan as one of our political heroes, and Bill Buckley, we conservatives, we all remember a moment, and we read about the moment where both of them separated themselves from the John Birch Society. They realized that unless they separated themselves from the extreme elements of the conservative movement at the time, that they could never reach the mainstream. Buckley did it, and Reagan did it. And when they did it, well, Ronald Reagan began the conservative revolution and counter-revolution in 1966, the Reagan Revolution. If they hadn't have done it, then Pat Brown would have beaten him in 1966 in California, and the world would have been completely different. That's what I don't understand about this, Michael Steele. I don't understand, like Mitch McConnell, we're going to play these very illuminating thoughts by Mitch, and he's saying the truth out loud.
Yeah.
Hey, we may not take the Senate back over. We should, but we may not because the candidates suck. He didn't say it that way, but the candidates that Donald Trump's put up there suck. And now he's got his most senior members going around saying things that could get government workers killed. And they're the people that keep apologizing for the terrorists on January the 6th, people he thinks are terrorists. I mean, his speech on January the 6th and his actions on January 6th, very notable. But it's having an impact. And this is what I don't understand. I'll say it again. Trump lost the White House. He lost the House, went out of his way, did yeoman's work to lose the Senate for Republicans.
Yep.
First guy since Herbert Hoover to lose all three in one 4-year term. And it's happening again. I mean, look at this poll from Arizona. I mean, let's just face it. I mean, Mark Kelly has underperformed politically in many ways. He underperformed in the 2020 election. He didn't raise as much money as people originally thought. He was lagging behind in the polls 6 months ago. Now look at this in Arizona. It's not close. We can see the same thing in Wisconsin. We saw a Ron Johnson poll where Ron Johnson it was ahead before. Now in this Fox News poll that came out yesterday, he's down 4 points. In the Marquette poll, which is sort of the gold standard for that state, he's down by even more points. And in Pennsylvania, Dave McCormick would be like walking through the Hart Senate office building going, I wonder what office I should pick out right now. The Republican that was running against Dr. Oz, McCormick would be, it seriously would already be picking out his office. Yeah. And Democrats would have given up on Pennsylvania. They've got Dr. Oz. And so now Republicans literally said yesterday, basically sounded the word, we're giving up on Pennsylvania.
That's right.
We're going to put it all in Ohio. Oz, I guess crudité thing was the end of it. I don't know.
He choked on his crudité.
He choked on his crudité. I didn't
Never speak French in an American election. John Kerry could have told you.
You remember that Monty Python scene, philosophy? Is that a sport? That's what I said about crudité. Yeah, crudité. Is that a sport? So all of this has an impact. And then you add the hate speech on top of that. You add the rhetoric where Republicans, senior Republicans are saying they're going to have a strike force that goes in with AR-15s already loaded, ready to shoot small business people in Iowa. GD it is all I'll say.
Right.
This has an impact. And if you're a Republican, you should be as outraged as me. Even if you are a cold-hearted political beast, you should be as angry as me because this is going to beat Mitch McConnell and the Republican Party. So why aren't they speaking out like Reagan did, like Buckley did against the extremists in their midst that are going to have them lose yet another election?
Because they are not Reagan.
They're cowards.
They're cowards. They're not
scared.
Rager. They're scared.
They're
They
intimidated.
have been scared. They've been intimidated. They've been bullied. When you can stand on a debate stage with Donald Trump, who at that point in time in 2016 is at 5%, 6%, 7% approval, and he calls out your wife, he calls out your daddy, he calls out your mama, and you say nothing, you've already seen the seedbed laid for how this is going to play out. There is not one among them who wear pants who will stand up to him. That's the Liz Cheney problem Republicans have, because she did. Yeah. She showed herself to be better, stronger, more resilient, and more resistant to the Trump infection than the men who are in leadership. So much so that they pushed her out of leadership. So we sit here and we go, well, why are they doing this? Look at what they've done.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me that they're not saying anything about this.
This is a whole new level, though. They are leading us straight into another Oklahoma City.
Of course.
And they have mainstream Republicans talking about civil war.
And they will do this when it happens. And they will blame Joe Biden, they will blame Hunter Biden, and they will blame anybody else and everybody else but themselves, which is why you, me, and other Republicans and former Republicans have to make it very clear. This is on your hands. This is what you are creating, because you're not taking advantage of this moment, and that John Birch moment that you refer to stand up and say and do something about it.
And what's incredible is 2022 should just be a walk in the park for Republicans. This should be the easy. This should look like the year I got in 1994. I mean, this would have been so easy.
Yeah, but it's not.
On every front, they are making it difficult for themselves, whether it's on social issues like abortion, whether it's on the candidates they are choosing, whether it's on the violent rhetoric. I mean, just ask the Democrats how well defund X goes. Doesn't go so well with suburban voters, right? That's why Democrats got hammered.
Defund the FBI.
Defund the FBI.
One of the worst
I'm just talking to a Democrat.
slogans of our time.
I can see that doing super well with women in the suburbs of Philly.
Who investigates Islamic terrorism in America? In the suburbs. The FBI
keeps you safe.
Who investigates and chases down terror threats across America while you're sleeping in the suburbs of Atlanta? The FBI. Who chases down people that run human trafficking rings and want to snatch your children out of malls in the suburbs of Atlanta and Charlotte and Philadelphia? The FBI. Right. And you want to defund the FBI? You want to turn these agencies, people that keep America safe every day from the greatest threats, from the drug cartels? You want to defund them?
And then they said they want to break them up. I said, what are you going to break the FBI up into? What are you going to...
Ma Bell? They're not talking about Ma Bell here.
So to the point of your friend, I think it's important to note, he said U.S. government can be replaced. He or she said that.
Yeah.
They realize, of course, that our founders made it very clear that we, the people, are the government.
Right.
It's not an institution. It's not a building. That's what sets us apart from every other Republican
elections
democracy.
Every 2 years.
Elections every 2 years.
So you know what
we
he's
the
saying?
People.
He's saying the people can be replaced.
There you go.
He doesn't like the fact.
There
and
you
this
go.
is what. And,
That's it.
And we're going to go to break here, but because I could go all day, and I just may. But they used to always say, oh, it's Ted Kennedy and his radical schemes. He's a murderer and he's coming after you next. And then it was, who is the next boogeyman? They would go from one, it's Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson wants to blah, blah, blah. And then, in recent years, it's Nancy Pelosi, San Francisco liberal. She's a radical. And then it was AOC, a backbencher. It's AOC. She's running the government. And then it's Kamala Harris. She's coming after you. It's Bernie Sanders. He's a liberal. They now are willing to throw away the greatest experiment in the history of humankind.
Yes, they are.
Over a moderate from Delaware whose biggest knock against him within his own party was he was too close to credit card companies.
Right.
They have defined radicalism down so much that it is just preposterous. Willie.